Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing why you should not see the oneness of the universe. If you are new here, hello, my name is Fakery, and I want to loosen our dualistic view of the world by dividing unities. Today our story comes from the Mumonkan. Zuigan calls his master. Zuigan called to himself every day, "Master," and answered, "Yes, sir." He would then say, "Be wide awake," and answer, "Yes, sir." Henceforth, never be deceived by others. No, I won't. Positive affirmations are an awesome way to start your day and a great way to get a control over your own thoughts and different patterns that you may have. However, that is not what we're discussing today. We're expanding unities. In this sense, Zuigan talking to himself, we're going to interpret that as Zuigan talking to other people. Interactions with others are this same interaction. Some people may be telling you to wake up, and you may say, "Yes, sir." This is an important process to hear something and to affirm it once you hear it. When other people give you content, when you are consuming media, you want to hear the positive things and affirm those positive things. Now, we also want to understand this in the negative and how that can affect us. We may be hearing negative content and we may be affirming that negativity also. So we want to be sure that we're taking control and being careful about what we feed ourselves, what media we feed to ourselves. With everything you consume, you are telling yourself to either be awake or stay asleep, to be driven by love or to be driven by fear. Make the right choice. On to Mumon's commentary. Old Zuigan buys and sells himself. He takes out a lot of God masks and devil masks and puts them on to play with him. For what? One calling and the other answering. One wide awake, the other saying he will never be deceived. If you stick to any of them, you will be a failure. If you imitate Zuigan, you will play the fox. So the God mask here and the devil mask, just the play that he's doing, he is one person awake, one person not. So again, this is Zuigan talking to himself, and he is making a division within himself as one person who is awake and another person who is not. And of course, when we expand this to interacting with other people, we may think of other people as being negative. We may think of other people as being toxic, and they have the devil mask, and we are the positive people. We are the God masked people. When in fact, that's all just a play. That's all just a failure. If you're sticking to that, it's a failure. You want to be aware enough to loosen that a bit and say to yourself, maybe you are wearing the devil mask and maybe the other person is the Buddha in disguise. Maybe the negativity that other people are putting out to you is a tool to help you grow. But of course, we don't want to be stuck to any interpretation here. This is what Mumon is telling us. To actually believe any of these things, to believe that you are awakened talking to yourself, not awakened, or you yourself are awakened talking to other people who are not awake, or other people are awake talking to you who is not awake. To believe any of these is to miss it. All of the distinctions are completely arbitrary. You can be the fox, as it said in this commentary, and be clever to understand which one is which to help you grow in some practical sense. But that's just a trick too. Of course, fox in this context is trickery, but also cleverness. You want to be able to freely change the masks from yourself or from different aspects of yourself and of others, or different aspects of other people, to make sure that you understand how arbitrary the distinctions are, but you can utilize them to help you grow. In this koan here, in our analysis, we're investigating the distinction between self and other, and of course in the koan he says, henceforth never be deceived by others. This is very clearly meaning the concept of others. The concept of other people is what you want to be suspicious of. Well, suspicious isn't the right word, but you don't want to be tricked by it. You don't want to be stuck with the analysis of other people or even other parts of your personality. All of those distinctions are arbitrary. If you stick to any one of them, you will be a failure. You can take any unity and put a mask on half of it and another mask on the other half of it, and this can happen infinitely, indefinitely, all the way down. You can divide up different things, but if you do it skillfully, if you understand what you're doing, if you understand that it's arbitrary placing these masks, the good and evil, or the yin and yang, or dividing these unities, then you'll be skillful, you'll be enlightened. If you are being tricked and deceived into thinking that they are actually there, those masks are essential, those masks are real, those masks cannot be removed. If you If you're there, stuck, then you are a failure. On to the poem. Clinging to the diluted way of consciousness, students of the Tao do not realize truth. The seed of birth and death through endless eons, the fool calls it the true original self. Amazing, I really love this. So the consciousness being diluted by the way of consciousness, that is the unification and division process that I was referring to earlier, right? If you only see the oneness of the world and you think that that is the truth, then you've been tricked. You've been diluted by consciousness, because the consciousness is what makes the oneness. And if you are stuck seeing the infinite division of every single atom or particle or superstring or whatever you want to say, if you're seeing the infinite division and you're stuck there, then you're also diluted by consciousness. You're stuck. You're tricked. Don't do that. Don't be stuck. Don't be tricked. You can arbitrarily switch between all of these things, right? You don't want to be, in this sense, student is a bad thing, because a student will understand the oneness. The student will understand that everything is connected, but the student doesn't realize. The student hasn't had those deep experiences. The seed of birth and death through endless eons, so the eternal Tao, the eternal Buddha nature. The seed of yin and yang is yin yang, or the source is the seed of all dualities. The fool calls it the true original self, which is what I just did. I just named it, right? The fool names it, because to name it is to miss it. I'm sure we all already understand that part of it, but there's also another aspect of it, and that's to cling to that ultimate oneness, right? To have this ultimate oneness, to name it is already to miss it, but then to have the concept of it being the oneness, to have the ultimate unity be the thing that we are clinging on to, is to miss it. You want to get beyond the conceptualization of the oneness and connectedness, interconnectedness of everything, and see that the division and the unity are the same aspects of the consciousness that you have. And that is the trick that you want to see through. Continue with Zen Stories to see behind the devil mask, and click the God mask icon to subscribe for more. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching.